Wow, it's like an AA meeting.
Brian shit after partying last night.
Brian, this is an intervention.
Shit, you're 40 years too late.
So before we begin, Astronomicon is a family-friendly event, which is one of the many things I love about it.
The families need to leave.
Yeah, we should caution though that
The friendliest thing we can say to families is get out.
if you don't want to be in the position of explaining to someone what snowballing is, now is probably a good time to leave. Also, at this point, we've all seen Clerks 3, right?
Yeah!
So,
wait, by show of hands, who hasn't seen Clerks 3?
get out!
You're expelled. There might be some spoilers, so just be aware. But yeah, if you have some issues with language or not wanting to have youthful people hear some things that there's always some knucklehead who loves donkey shows and stuff's gonna be talked about. So heads up, I feel attacked. That's what's gonna happen here.
What's a jizz mopper?
Exactly.
That's going to be a long ride home.
Yeah. Now you're fairly warned.
Well, you know mops.
All right.
What?
Lead us on.
Well, I just want to kick it off by saying Clerks 3, for me, I was, to date myself, I was 18 when Clerks came out. So Clerks 3 was like Avengers Endgame for me, where, you get in a time heist, you got to see them relive the greatest hits of the past 10 years of Marvel movies, and this was like a very meta upon meta upon meta from really the group of people who invented, shared cinematic universe, putting Stan Lee in your movies.
Which Avenger is Austin?
Oh, this is a great question, actually.
I like Ant-Man.
Yeah, that's great.
Might be a Tom Holland.
Oh, yeah.
But it had that great mix of it's super fun is what you would expect, but what you maybe didn't expect, and this is where we're getting to a mild spoiler, it's moving. Clerks 3 was showing on my plane on the flight here, and we were talking about this the other day. You don't necessarily expect to see someone in the other seat turning on a Clerks movie and then weeping. So it's I called this panel Dramedy Central because the VOC universe went very dramedy with the Clerks guys where it all started. So
Yeah, we had
I
some
kick that off by talking about that.
Yeah, we had some fans come up to us today who were like, I had seen the movie and then I saw it was on the plane, but my wife didn't see the movie, so on a flight here, we watched Clerks 3, and there's some emotional parts in the movie, as people know, and so she was crying on the plane. I was like, I can imagine if I was across the aisle from them, yo, they're totally breaking up right there. He totally fucking cheated on her, look at her. Oh, that shit sucks. But yeah, it's not the best cross country. It's like watching Sully on a plane, right? Why would you put that as one of your choices? Let's do all the movies about 9/11 on a plane.
I couldn't figure out why everybody kept jumping off the plane. Now,
Well, Trevor, you said that you were flying and someone was watching next to you.
We were in Pensacola last weekend, and on my way back to San Francisco from Pensacola, the guy right next to me was watching Clerks 3. And I kept looking, because what are you going to do in that situation? And so I just was kind of and yeah, but as far as he did, he didn't say anything, but it was really funny. He was laughing. And then when it got to the sad part, he started jerking it, so I thought that was
yeah, he was for sure trying to bang you.
Hey! A Gil Hicks reference, nicely played.
A lady never tells.
If Jason Lee, Jesus Christ, man, there's just some things you don't talk about in public. Stop looking at your phone, do your job, bro.
That's where my notes are.
Oh, right
I'm trying to remember your name.
You have 3 to choose from. Brian, Dante, Sergio. Come on.
Oh, yes.
Grant Hicks, Gil Hicks, Jim Hicks, Sean Hicks, whatever you want.
So people who were maybe following along the journey to Clerks 3 prior to this, going all the way back to, when you guys were doing press for Clerks 2, there were various permutations, and there was a whole completely different version of what the movie would have been prior to what it actually became. So I'm just curious, for each of you, was there a moment that you can remember where you realized, oh, this is actually happening, and this is the story we're definitely doing, and I definitely want to be in it. Was there, did each of you have kind of a different?
Everything with that last part. Somebody bail me out.
You didn't want to be in it?
Jeff?
What? I think everybody in this room knows I didn't want to be in it.
Right. That's why I threw it to you. Here's a simple, quick answer. You know, especially this third film, the first iteration of it was like 9 years ago. David, everybody, master artist. That guy, his talent is like Rain Man mixed with Yoda, mixed with, I don't know what. I don't know how he does it, but it's crazy. With the first iteration of a Clerks 3 script, it was a lot darker than where we went with this one. This one was more heartfelt, pun intended. And this one, the first one was something that was really, really like, whoa. I remember Jeff and I, when we first got the script, was like, oh, what's going on with Kevin? Is he all right? That kind of thing. And then the producers who were on board with that version were people who we did not want to work with really again.
Can't imagine why.
Yeah, well, you know, you can ask him. I forget what prison number he's at. But that kind of thing was like, yeah, we're not going to probably do that one. And then years went by, and then there was a gathering at a private signing where Jay and Kevin and then Jeff were all doing a signing for a company called, through our agency, ZSC Entertainment and Lulu Multiprops had a signing, which then Kevin and Jeff got to talking again, and Kevin was like, I have an idea for a new version of the Clerks 3 script. And then it went on from there. And then when reading it, I was very touched by the fact that he put in his own life experiences about his own health and things like that, and put it in. And the fact that what the Elias character transforms through, and then adding the blockchain character, and just seeing, like, wow, this is really a time machine of, like, you're really gonna have us go back and really fool an audience into paying what they already saw? I'm interested in this real-time heist.
So it was all a ploy to get me in acid-wash jeans again.
What are you talking about? You showed up with 4 of your own pairs. And you're like, ooh, I still fit in them. So then once that got rolling, and he brought on Jordan, who's Jay's wife, who just had a child, by the way. They just had a new son.
Like 2 weeks ago, right?
Yeah, like 2 weeks ago. She and Liz Destro were the producers of the film. We got Lionsgate involved, which is a really great company to work for. And we were able to get the ball rolling and shoot the whole thing back again, old school, back in Jersey, which was awesome.
I think one of the things, too, that Kevin has talked about in doing it, the original Clerks 3 that he wrote was a completely made-up story. So Kevin didn't have that emotional connection to it. And I think when he wrote the new script, it was more based on him, and it had a little more heart. And felt
Like the first one?
Yeah, it felt a little more like it belonged in the Clerks world.
Yeah, and I gotta say, Jeff, when I first saw it, and this happened pretty early in the movie for the 1 or 2 people in here that didn't see it, when Randall has the heart attack, I thought, like, oh, this is the Harrison Ford. Like, I'm only gonna come back if you kill me off.
I've been trying to get killed off since the first one.
Yeah. I thought you went full Han Solo there, which would be the ultimate Muse universe moment.
I literally ran over to the table and I said, I told you this day would come when someone would finally cosplay you!
People, but once again, like, they're like, you son of a bitch, so I guess we won't see you again? And I'm like, you saw Becky, didn't you? Like, I was like, you'll totally see me. Just force toasting and shit.
Yeah. Woman in the front row goes, what? No, it is crazy because that's not how movies are made.
The costume and makeup people just love fucking Trevor.
It was only supposed to be a 3-week shoot. It turned into a 6-week shoot.
And we're waiting for a while, and I was just like, what the fuck? Is Lady Gaga ready or what? What the fuck are we doing here, man? Every time he's coming in with a new fucking outfit. But every time it was brilliant.
God, why didn't we do a Lady Gaga look?
Where's the meat dress? The meat dress, yeah. But because it's Clerks, it'd be lunch meat.
Just organs.
One of my favorites definitely was
Slim Jims.
Yeah, so raise your hand if you have a question, and then if you're called upon, please tell us your name, where you're from, your question, and can I have a hug, can I have a photo, or not questions?
You gotta start with the birthday girl.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Happy birthday.
My question for Brian and Jeff. So, spoiler alert for the ending. The last scene at the hospital. Why do you have this mental y'all making all
That was actually all CGI. They drew that. They drew them in.
It's like that new Jonah Hill movie where the CGI kiss.
For me, it was easy. I was intubated. No, but I did have a tube pretty far down my throat. But then we shot the movie. No, yeah. So
It wasn't a tube.
just want to make sure if there are any families left in the room. Kevin was very adamant about the look and stuff. Like at first, we just had it in. He's like, no, it should be taped to his face and stuff like that. That's what they did to me, kind of thing. Although he was never intubated. That was the thing. It was just.
What hospital is this?
I know, Jersey, bro. You're lucky I fucking got out of there, which I did. So,
Regional.
Jersey. Jeff.
For me, it was like just walking in the room and sort of seeing him there. It just kind of hit me. But also, like knowing that this was going to be the end of it was sort of where I got my emotion from. It was like this is coming to an end. Very strange. Thank God.
That's a great question.
Are you guys satisfied with your character's ending in the universe, or fate, so to speak? Are you satisfied with it? Like, you like it, or do you wish you could?
Are you? Are you? She asked, "Are we satisfied with how our character's arc ended with Clerks 3?"
I mean, I loved it. I felt like it brought everything together in the most beautiful way. The most like, everything came together so well, just like in the first movie. You know, how just all at the end.
Yeah, for me, I'm just glad to have ended this fucking contract, so now I can move on to a different entirely universe.
Yeah, why did you sign that 50-year contract?
I've been texting John Favreau for so fucking long. I'm like, dude, you could totally make me like a store clerk in some of your fucking outsourced, something on fucking Mandalorian. I don't give a fuck. I could be anyone you want. Look, you want me to operate Grogu? I don't give a fuck. I'll do it. Just get me out of here. And just make Kevin incredibly jealous if I appeared on screen in a Star Wars series before him. He'd be like, Holleran! But then there's also times like in the second movie, there were so many different items going on in that movie. You know, you had the big dance routine where there's a whole, parking lot full of dancers and then me and Rosario on the roof. Or you could do the go-kart track where we spent the whole day at the go-kart track, which was awesome. And to the point where we had lunch and I didn't take a lunch. I literally just kept riding in the go-kart. If you watch the movie again, there's a quick cut of Dante with sunglasses on. He never had sunglasses. That was Brian just fucking on lunch going like, I love dance, this is awesome.
I do like the idea that like your nerdy alter ego is like just Dante and then cool Brian.
Yeah.
I actually have a new answer. My favorite part of all the movies was Brian had to make out with Kevin's wife. And I get to walk into the scene. I just love walking into the scene and fucking it up. So like, shit, what's my line?
But listen, name me what job where your boss goes, this is what we're gonna do. You're gonna sit on that swing, my wife's gonna straddle you, you guys make out while I film it.
Who was
And
that?
at the end,
Was that Kevin?
and at the end, I pay you. What do you think?
That's
That's the thing. Yeah, I made out with your future mother-in-law.
No, I know, but was that Kevin's voice?
Yeah.
Flawless impression.
He was doing that. He was like, listen, I don't want this to be on tape because I don't want the Me Too thing, which is 15 years from now, happening to me. So that was the type of thing that you would like, what the fuck am I doing? And but here we are today. So,
Was there tongue?
no, fuck that. I'm a professional, motherfucker. Leave that shit for the valley.
He's like, in Pretty Woman, she like won't kiss. That's what it is.
I think we have time for maybe one or two more questions. Almost got it.
Is that Seth Rogen over there?
I know. So, I'm ready.
do it?
Yeah, do it. Let's do it. Let's hear it.
The animated series.
Animated series, yes.
Yeah, right? So, it's not really a question, but there's two things that I love about that show. One, the second episode was a flashback episode, which was just ingenious. Like, I'm assuming that was Kevin's idea, right?
No, the ABC actually fucking aired the series in the wrong order. So literally the first episode is the introduction to the world, and then the second episode is, funny enough, the flashback episode of the first episode. But ABC, in their idiotic genius, aired the second episode first. Then it aired the first episode. I mean, people were like, I don't.
That
get
is so
this.
confusing that it's
Right.
a flashback episode as well.
Right. Well, that's because they had already canceled us before we even aired. But contractually, they were obligated to air a minimum of 2 episodes. And they were like, well, no, fucking hit it on shuffle and whatever happens happens. Huh?
The DVD released in order. So,
No, of course the DVD,
Yeah.
because we control the DVD.
right.
Yeah.
So, and then, Jeff, I just want you to know, the term reread has been in my vernacular now for 23 years. I just want to say thank you for that.
Yeah, it was a different time back then when we did the
I
cartoon.
know.
So there's a lot of things. It's funny because there's a scene that got edited from Clerks 2 during the car ride, to work. I forget which it is, where we talk about. We're going to the go-kart track.
That was one of my favorite scenes.
Yeah, and it got tricked. Yeah, tell it.
It's basically a scene where I try and convince Brian that if he jerks off in the bathroom, he can get his own mother pregnant.
Yes, I love that scene.
I love that scene.
Yeah.
But there's a line in it. There's a line in it that goes like, "Well, I don't want some guy to come in there and get all sex nuts and retard strong." That's the dialogue that was written. Don't be fucking getting on Twitter. You remember more?
The funnier line is, what did Jurassic Park teach us? Life finds a way.
But it's some hilarious dialogue at the time, and very, very funny. So
What was it? Your hideous chud brother/son.
Brother, son, thanks. There was like a line like, thanks, mom, sister, dad, brother. Anyway, I can't remember.
fucking good times.
I feel like no one has ever clarified for me what chud means.
Cannibalistic
humanoid underground
humanoid. Come on, everybody.
Okay.
Cannibalistic humanoid underground dwellers.
Okay, cool.
And they resided in New Jersey, funny enough.
Okay, that makes
Youngins.
sense. Yeah, my bad.
Now I've never felt more Generation X.
Right? Tell me about it.
Let's do one more question. This young lady right here, yes.
Hi, Andrea. Right on, what part? Okay, fucking say the town. Hey, when people like, I'm in charge, say Monmouth County. Like,
Where in Monmouth County?
Where? Powell, all right on. You realize we're from fucking Jersey. I thought it was perfect, perfect loop of everything coming back to where you belong. Homecomings are always different for different people for different reasons. This time, Kevin demanded that we shoot it all. Like the producer said, hey, we can shoot down in New Orleans again like we did Reboot. They literally built the exterior of the quick stop for Reboot. And me and Kevin, because it was like the second day of filming, stood in front of that facade going like, holy shit, these guys pulled it off. But Kevin was like, no, we're going to do the higher fee to shoot up under the New York Union umbrella, which is a higher cost of film, because this is all about coming home. And it was awesome to me. Ooh, Jeff?
I thought it was perfect. In my mind, I think the store is just as big of a character as we are. And to me, it felt right, and it felt cool to be back in the store.
All right, let's do like 3 speed round questions.
Speed
Real
round.
simple.
You heard
Just
the
get
man.
up and say it.
So-
Get up, say it.
Were you actually going through all the movie?
Yes. That's awesome. We actually had some big fucking huge professional drone trying to snap fucking, shots of us. And literally we were like, everybody get under the tents. And then we were like, Brian, just go out there. I was in a suit and everything. Go out there in a suit just in case someone snapped paparazzi. Because we were in a big, huge fucking cemetery where you couldn't say, you can't go visit your dead uncle today. Go away, we're filming a movie. So we had to be in a suit just in case.
All right, rapid fire. Don't think about it.
Yeah.
Fuck, Harry
Mary kill? Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, Kevin Smith.
Fuck, marry, kill, Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, Kevin Smith.
I have to marry Kevin, yeah, and then fuck Ben, kill Matt.
Can I just kill them all?
I'd marry Kevin because he's got great weed.
Yeah,
Fuck Matt Damon, I'll kill him, and Ben, you got my number.
Yeah, I would marry Kevin, fuck Ben to get to J-Lo, and kill Matt Damon. Yo, she's from the Bronx, I'm from the Bronx. Actually, she went to the same Catholic school that I did in the Bronx. Jenny was from my block, and then my parents decided there were too many of J-Lo's relatives, so we left the block. Oh, white flight jokes. White flight jokes. Aha!
You see, it's funny because his parents are the racists.
I'm playing the room, sir. We're in Livonia. We're not in Detroit.
So much on
comedy,
this.
people. Relax.
So much pressure on this question.
Yeah, last question. Here we go.
Okay, question for Trevor.
Oh, shit,
Now,
hit me.
for Elias, since Clerks 2 and 3, he's kind of grown from being kind of shy to now more this kind of the new Randall to just, no, the new Dante to just Randall, sorry. How do you feel like he kind of changed?
Yeah, I think he's got a great. I sort of spoke to this earlier. I think he's got a great ending. He's got a cool moment where he sort of stands up to Randall for the first time, and I think he's more sticking up for Dante, like on his behalf or whatever. And it's just kind of a moment where he finally comes out of his shell and sort of becomes a man in front of our eyes, and it's good dude.
No, he's his own man. I was Dante. He's Elias, and I think if it continues that way, I think it's going to be fucking hilarious.
Don't say continue.
I did start that sentence with if.
Well,
To be honest with you, I want to do the animated series again. I don't know about you guys. Let's fill in the gaps of all those characters, all the animated series.
I know some of you came to my table and I probably told you this already, but I totally will sign on for Clerks 4 in a minute if Randall buries Dante at the Pet Cemetery.
You got the body. So you can go parents.
Maybe we all see that. I know you did.
Elias turns to the dark side. She gets a copy of the Necronomicon.
He was buried with something very specific that you need.
Many shared universes colliding. All right, let's give it up for Jeff.
Give it up for our MC tonight.
Thank you. We have the legendary Doug Bradley coming up.
Brian, here's your $1.
Oh, yeah, you got it.
Look at you, I got you, your boy. There you go. Thanks, guys. Good to see you. Good job, sir. Good job.
Bye, buddy.
Trevor, thank you for calling Vincent for me.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. I didn't do that.
Please leave a like and subscribe. It would help us out tremendously. We're doing everything we can to expand the universe just a little bit more. And hit the notification bell to be notified about future videos.